Jawohl, hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Persona 5 Royal auf der PlayStation 4. In der letzten Folge haben wir ja hier aufgehört, jetzt aber weiter. Film Mikaba.
That sounds familiar.
Ja. Ich hab dir eins auf die Schnauze gehauen, du Arsch.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero, and I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
Oh, seid ihr nicht so sicher, Shido.
And on to our next story, the snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? Feels like I heard that somewhere.
He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
Who?
I believe he's a politician.
Remember Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Huh?
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses.
We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes. Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this, just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved. But there wasn't anything I could do, so I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdowns. So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated parties. Boss was one of those parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What about the world?
The issue is simpler than that. This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister. Got a hit! Well, duh. Ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right? Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
Of course!
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together. Time for revenge. Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that diet building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
Ja, das kriegen wir hin.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the diet building after school.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Miss Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations. A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal.
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
Ich wäre genauso
The true battle
abgebrüht gewesen
has
damals.
only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic, and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root. After all, We had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side, until recently.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests. The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals, which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you. And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own. The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, some sacrifices can't be avoided. That is my duty as the chosen one. Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
Well, how do I put this?
Endlich scheint sich alles ein bisschen beruhigt zu haben. Ab morgen wird es echt stressig für dich. Ruh dich lieber noch aus.
Well then.
Der Boss hat recht. Wir sollten es heute ruhig angehen lassen. Gut, wir gehen ins Bett.
I'm gonna head back then.
Ich gehe mal nach Hause. Ab ins Bett, okay? Schlafen. Ey, muss Igor noch mit uns reden und Morgana auch?
Guess he won't be going to school for a while.
Ja, passiert Morgana.
Don't worry about it. This'll be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far. And we'll have all the time to come up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end. Well then, we should get to sleep. You know, something that Futaba said before, when you were in a pinch in the palace, she picked up a reading of someone who came to your rescue. Was that...
so it was Yoshizawa. Then we'd better let her know you're safe now. And I'll even lend you a hand with that.
There's no point in even having an election. Shido's gonna win.
Of course, he's the only reliable politician there is. Plus, the current government has been getting wrapped up in scandal after scandal. Even more importantly, there's just an aura about him. Like he can fix whatever problems we have.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me who does it. I just want to see our society back on track. Especially after it turned out those phantom thieves were nothing more than scum in the end.
We'll show you.
Juhu, mein Zivi-Outfit. Ich habe gehört, dass du nach Hause gegangen bist, also habe ich es der Klassenstunde gesagt. Aber das ist gelogen, oder? Ja. Ich wusste es einfach. Du planst etwas mit Sakamoto-kun und den anderen, oder? Versuch nur bitte die Schule und die Eltern keinen Ärger zu machen, okay? Und vergesst das Lernen nicht vor lauter Geheimniskrämerei. Ich kümmere mich um deine Hausarbeit, wenn du mich anforderst. Ach, Frau Lehrerin. Morgen. Stimmt es, dass der Chef der Phantomdiebe gestorben ist? Wie können die Polizei zulassen, dass er im Gefängnis Selbstmord beging? Da muss aufgeräumt werden.
Cut that out!
Ruhe jetzt, ihr seid im Unterricht. Die Ferien sind schon eine Weile vorbei. Ihr seid echt wie die Affen im Zoo. Oh ja, ich habe von Mikamas Familie gehört, dass es die nächste Zeit abwesend ist. Mensch, was glaubt ihr, was ist? Was? Was wohl über Schule ist? Es ist fast Zeit. Ich muss zwingend nochmal einkaufen, Leute. Da führt kein Weg drumherum. Ich muss meine Heiler verstecken. Ich muss... Hey, das stimmt doch nicht, oder? Bitte sag mir, dass es dir gut geht. Mir geht's gut. Oh, zum Glück geht es dir gut. Es ist überall Selbstmord und Frau Kiwakami hat gesagt, du bist zurück nach Hause gegangen. Ich hatte echt Angst, dich zu kontaktieren. Sogar Sakamoto ist der Frage ausgewichen, als ich versucht habe, ihn zu befragen. Aber keine Sorge, ich sage es niemandem. Auf der Fanzeit herrscht übrigens gerade totales Chaos. Aber ich unterstütze euch weiter aus dem Schatten. Viel Glück.
Hey.
Ja, dann musst du dir keine Sorgen machen, aber versuch keine Aufmerksamkeit zu erregen. Heute haben wir aber sowieso einen freien Tag, also ist ein Curry und spann dich. Lass dir ruhig Zeit, wir erwarten keine Kunden. Danke, Chef.
Okay.
Tank erstmal Energie mit dem Curry vom Boss. Dann können wir uns in den Kopf über das Passwort zerbrechen. Ja, uns fehlt das Passwort, stimmt ja. Habt ihr schon das Passwort für Shidos Palast rausgefunden? Ich habe alle möglichen probiert, aber ohne Erfolg. Die Gedanken von einem genialen Verbrecher wie ihm sind nicht leicht nachzuvollziehen. Wisst ihr, ich habe mich gefragt, ob vielleicht er hinter dem ganzen mentalen Fakten steckt. Heißt das nicht, dass die ganzen komischen Unfälle in den letzten Jahren seine Schuld waren? Zum Beispiel dieser U-Bahn-Unfall im April. Ja, stimmt, als ich angekommen bin. Jetzt, wo du sagst, nach dem Unfall ist der Verkehrsminister seinen Job verloren. Warte mal, willst du sagen, Shido hat den Unfall verursacht? Das war eine U-Bahn. Ist ihm etwa egal, wenn Unschuldige sterben? Der Mann ist echt unglaublich. Ja, es ist ihm scheißegal, weil er einfach nur seine eigenen Ziele verfolgt und dabei jedes Opfer in Kauf nimmt. Haben wir bereits gesehen. Es sind anscheinend immer noch total viele Opfer von damals im Krankenhaus. Masayoshi Shido. Wie viele Menschen hat er auf dem Gewissen? Wie soll man je begreifen, was im Kopf von so einem Monster vor sich geht? Hey, würde es nicht schneller gehen, wenn wir einfach hinfahren und dort drüber nachdenken? Probieren wir es. Wenn wir gehen, hätte ich gerne, dass Philkun mitkommt, aber... Geht das in Ordnung? Sieht ihn da nicht jemand? Ach, wenn wir da sind, kriegen wir das Passwort sicher ganz schnell raus. Und durch meine Geschwindigkeit kann ich jeden abschütteln, der uns verfolgt. Alles klar, dann komm mit. Dann kommt Philkun mit. Aber denk dran, wir gehen in der Absicht hin, nicht gesehen zu werden. Okay, treffen wir uns vor dem Parlamentsgebäude und knacken den Palast von dem Mistkerl.
Let's head to the Diet Building. Make sure you aren't discovered, okay?
Na klar. Uff, so viel Story-Input, ey.
You going out?
Ja, das ist der Plan.
You gotta be kidding me. You realize you're done for if you get caught, right? Ugh. The stunts you pull sometimes. Just don't stay out too late.
Okay, danke, Chef. Ja, aber schön, dass ich auch mit der Kapuze da stehe.
Keshi isn't here.
Let's begin at once. Police cars are making rounds, so we can't stay here too long. We already have Masayoshi Shido and Diet Building. All we need is what he thinks of this place.
Maybe Mount Fuji, since it's the highest place in the country?
Conditions have not been met.
What about a mansion?
Since he's going to subjugate everyone as Prime Minister, perhaps a school?
What about an arena, like the Colosseum?
Imperial Palace? It's no good.
I thought we would have gained entry by now. Maybe we shouldn't have called you here.
Hey, you think he's guarding his whole palace with a barrier? Shido stole the cognitive science research, right? Well, maybe it had some special move written in it.
Is that even possible?
Ja.
Who knows? I've got no idea. There was nothing like that in the notes I saw.
Anyways, what kind of person is Shido?
I did some light research on him last night, but I couldn't get a grasp on the type of man he is.
That man over there is probably a legislator, right? I'll try asking him. Excuse me. I'm a member of the newspaper club at my high school. May I speak with you for a moment?
Sure.
What kind of person is Representative Shido? What's he think about the national diet?
His stance is dedication for country. It's how he's garnered everyone's trust. He's an admirable man of action, with a first-class determination. I'd say he's a model politician. I believe that he'll help create a wonderful future in which young adults like you can live in ease.
Danke. Das war nicht aufschlussreich.
An exemplary answer.
Genau das.
It makes sense he wouldn't tell teenagers anything unnecessary.
Look over there. He's on a walkie-talkie.
Wait, is it about us?
That doesn't look good.
We should leave at once. Tomorrow's the day off, so let's have an early strategy meeting. Meet at LeBlanc, okay?
We should all think about this tonight.
The criminals calling themselves the Phantom Thieves are no more.
Okay, gut, meine Freunde. Ich würde allerdings sagen, da machen wir hier eine kleine Aufnahmepause. Wir sehen uns hoffentlich in der nächsten Folge wieder. Bis dahin und ciao, ciao.